President of the Anuradhapura Medical Association, Dr. Gamage, keynote speaker this evening, my teacher, Dr. B.J.C. Pereira, the joint secretaries on the dais, the Vice Chancellor of the Vajira University of Sri Lanka and the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Janaka Periyaperuma, Janaka Pushpakumara, former Dean, Professor Sisira Siribadana, senior colleagues from the medical fraternity, council members of the association, junior doctors, distinguished invitees, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is a singular honor for me to be standing before you this evening at the inauguration of the Anuradhapura Medical Association. My mind goes back to the year 2012 when I was the president of the Sri Lanka Medical Association. The year 2012 was the year that the Sri Lanka Medical Association celebrated our 125th anniversary, and we decided that we will have regional meetings across the country. And one of the regions that I came to was the North Central region, and in collaboration with the Anuradhapura Clinical Society, we had a grand 2 or 3 day conference, which was highly successful. We had people, medical professionals, allied health professionals coming to that meeting from all parts of this region, from Puttlam to Trinco to all the way up north. Even those, although we had a meeting in Jaffna, even those from north came to this meeting, and of course all those who came from the south, from various parts. So Anuradhapura is a place that can unite the entire country. And when you embark on the association with the vision of collaboration and bringing together everyone, I know that you will be successful. So although your vision may look very grand, very unsurmountable, but I know that you will succeed. And I know, having been introduced to your wonderful council, diverse council, people with multitude of talents, those consultants who are serving in various capacities in the various professional colleges and associations based out of Colombo, like in any country, it will be based out of the capital. You can bring those links, and I'm sure you would succeed. And so I wish you all the very best as you embark on this journey. My mind goes back also to the year 2007, when I had to give a talk at the National Institutes of Health in the USA. The clinical center in the National Institutes of Health in the USA by far is the premier hospital in the world, because new knowledge in the field of medicine is created virtually every minute in that place through the clinical research, clinical trials and others that happen. And when I went to that meeting, of course, I didn't want to be second to the Americans, and I had to dig in and find something that would place us on par with them. And what enabled me to position ourselves on par with them was the history that was related a little while ago. The history that traced all of us back to the hospital at Mihintale, the oldest excavated hospital in the world. And of course, when you go to the chronicles of our country, we know what took place there, what took place in the other 18 hospitals, such hospitals that were there, and the great physician kings that we had, and of course the great civilization and the medical profession we would have at that time. When you go back and look at the excavated, artifacts, you look at the scissors, the surgical scissors, and so on. They resemble the current day equipment. So we can be proud of being, the heirs to that civilization. And of course, when you look at our chronicles, we find that there has been all kinds of even transplant surgery. And if those surgeries that are described, eye donation, organ donation, if those were aspirational things, some things which were happening in some, fairy tale land, they wouldn't be in those chronicles. They happened in this country. They happened in this region. And we are the, proud descendants of that civilization. And again, that also should give your association the, the strength that what you are embarking on is going to take you places. And if you embark with that, confidence, I'm sure you will go a long way. Now, I was invited to talk, and when I was invited, I was requested that I deal with the profession in my capacity as the president of the Sri Lanka Medical Council. And of course, the Medical Council is the one which governs the medical professionals and the dental professionals, as well as all other allied health professionals other than the nurses. Nurses have another council. Everybody else comes under us. And because of my position in the university, I am also the registrar of the Ceylon Medical College Council, which governs the education of the paramedical professionals. So I'm in a kind of a unique place, as it were, to look at the profession as a whole, and see where we are going. Now, I was appointed president about 4 years ago, 2020, towards the end of 2020. And at that time, we had enormous challenges in terms of getting these two organizations to be on par with the world standard, as it were. Benchmarking ourselves with the General Medical Council, the Australian Medical Council, the New Zealand, and others. And that's what we did over the past 4 years. We benchmarked ourselves and modeled ourselves according to that. And that way, we got ourselves, our organization developed now to a level where we are on par with the international regulatory organizations. And in fact, last year, we were admitted to the International Association of Medical Regulatory Associations. And this year, in July, the Sri Lanka Medical Council is celebrating our 100th anniversary. And to celebrate that anniversary, we're going to have a grand academic event, and that event will be graced by the chair of the International Medical Regulatory Association. So we have come a long way in the past 4 years to get our regulatory organizations to international standards. But we are now focusing more on the finer things that we need to focus on to get our profession to not only our profession, the medical profession, but also the other complementary, all the allied health professionals as well, to work professionally, keeping on par with what is expected in the modern world, as it were. In my faculty, we have a motto which says we are producing graduates to serve the community with compassion, and care. But professionalism goes beyond that. I brought with me the medical practitioner's oath that we administer to all the doctors who graduate in the country and who are registered by the Sri Lanka Medical Council. Now, in that oath, when we administer the oath, the doctors and the dental practitioners solemnly pledge themselves to dedicate their lives to the service of humanity. And when I administer this oath, or when I give the talk after the vice president of the association of the council administers the oath, it's the vice president who administers the oath. The president follows that with a talk. And when I give that talk, what I do is I take the new doctors and dentists through the oath so that they understand what they have pledged for. So beyond solemnly pledging to serve humanity, they also pledge that the health care of the patient will be their primary consideration, and they will not use their profession for exploitation or abuse of their patients. So it's important for us to reflect on what that means for us also as senior professionals. We will practice our profession with conscious dignity, integrity, and honesty. Now, when I recite these words to our new doctors, I always tell them, reflect on what those words mean to them in their own language, Sinhala or Tamil or other language if they have, so that they really internalize these concepts and they are not something alien to them. Because otherwise they remain something over there, practiced in UK, not practiced in our setting. So that is the message that I have for them. And then we say that we will give our teachers the respect and gratitude which is theirs. In a world where gratitude is not so trendy, highlighting that, emphasizing that is so very important. And we also, as senior professionals, have to reflect on how we impart these qualities on the junior doctors without, imposing ourselves on them. Lead them as role models so that they have that gratitude towards us without us demanding that from them. The doctors also pledge that they respect the secrets which are confined in them even after the death of their patients. Today, in a social media world where the fingertips work faster than the brain, as it were, confidentiality, privacy, and so on, sometimes, go missing. And these are concepts that we need to really think about on how we ensure that these are practiced. The doctors also pledge that they would maintain by all means in their power the honor and the noble traditions of the medical profession. I always remind the doctors that it is only the medical profession that is referred to as the noble medical profession. There's no other noble profession in the world. No other profession in the world that have the word nobility in front of it. This is in fact the first lecture that I give my medical students also, where I impress on them that the field of medicine, the profession of medicine is one of nobility, one which is held on par with nobility. And I get them to think of what, or reflect on what nobility means. There is an art as well as a science in medicine. There is a science as well as art in medicine. And there are, they say, 7 skills that promote the mastery of the art. And this evening, I'm not going to take you through those 7 skills, but you can reflect on that, and you can, Google or whatever and find that out. But I take them and I talk to the students and the newly passed out doctors about them, so that they know and they understand what is expected of the noble medical profession beyond any other profession. And that's very important. They also pledge that they will not permit considerations of religion, nationality, race, party politics, caste, or social standing to intervene between their duty and the patient. You would all agree with me that we have all been found wanting in all these aspects. And I think there's no point pointing finger at individuals, because we as a profession has to come together and correct these things. And if one fails, all of us fail. And therefore, it is important for all of us to reflect on them. They also pledge that they will maintain the utmost respect for human life from its beginning, even under threat, and that they will not use their medical knowledge contrary to the laws of humanity. Again, in a world, a society, a country where sometimes laws come into conflict with these kind of pledges, we need to reflect on how we actually operationalize them. And it is again so very important for us to have that reflective discourse within us on how we do that. So this is a pledge that all doctors give voluntarily on their own, but it shouldn't remain a pledge which is confined to a piece of paper. And that is where the professional associations come. That is where your association comes. Today, all of our associations have been focusing our attention on continuing professional development, continuing medical education, ensuring that medical education is provided as a lifelong, enterprise, as it were, for our doctors and the medical fraternity and those who are engaged in the business of healthcare, whatever profession they may be. However, it has become more and more important that we start focusing on professional ethics and clinical ethics. I know the universities have been focusing for many years on research ethics, but the role of the professional associations like the Anuradhapura Medical Association on promoting professional ethics and clinical ethics is so very important. In fact, in the Sri Lanka Medical Council, as I told you, now that we have benchmarked ourselves and to international standards, and that we have moved on to quality aspects, one of our newer committees is a committee on ethics that is dealing with these things. And in our last meeting that we had, we have now started focusing on developing a curriculum on professional and clinical ethics that we hope to deliver to all medical professionals in this country. And in that endeavor, we need your support. We will develop those curricula, we'll develop those curricular material, we will work with you to develop and deliver those programs in your regions and in the Anuradhapura region and the North Central and beyond, customized in a way that makes sense to the environment in which you work. We all work in a resource-constrained setting. Wherever you are in the world, whether it be in Sri Lanka, whether you are working in UK, London, whether you are working in Australia, or whether you are working in the US, there is no completely resource setting. Everybody will complain of the lack of resources. But within the limited resources that you have, how do you deliver care professionally and ethically in a manner that enables the patients to receive your care and be confident that that care that they have received is good, the care that they have received is trustworthy, and they will continue to hold the medical professionals with noble beliefs that they are a noble breed. So that is what will get us to that stage if we focus on professional ethics and clinical ethics. And the Anuradhapura Medical Association has a very important role in that process. Why do I say you have an important role? In 2012, when I became the president of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, and I was there in Colombo, I was the youngest president of the Sri Lanka Medical Association. Everybody there were older than me. In the council, you know, in Colombo, everybody is older than me. And you are the youngest president, and you have to serve everyone. So one of the most senior past president of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, Dr. Dennis Aloysius, who was not here, he was not here now, he's gone, passed away and gone. He came up to me and said, Vajira, forget about everybody else. You are the president. You work like a president and do the right thing. And all the senior presidents will support you. Now, when I came to Anuradhapura and the regions, I found that I was probably one of the oldest people in the audience, and everybody else was young. And I can see some of those young people today holding positions like the Vice Chancellor of the university. And but those young people, actually come to the regions. Most of our newly passed out doctors will come to the regions. And this is where they begin their professional career. And so you have a very important role to impart good professional ethics, good clinical ethics on them, so that they will prosper in their career. Because otherwise, if you don't have that proper grounding, they themselves will suffer as they go on. It's just not knowledge that makes you a good doctor, as all of you know. It is the entire personality, the role model that all of you are to them, that will make them good doctors in the future, that will make them want to remain in this country and serve the country, and that will make them be proud of their profession and be proud of what they have achieved. Otherwise, they just, linger away, and that is a sad situation. So therefore, you must make sure that you get involved in professional ethics development as well as clinical ethics development as a priority in the agenda of your association. That's the key message that I had for you. But in that endeavor, you have a lot of support. The support coming from all of us in various positions across the country. As well as I was telling your president, when I looked at the issue of migration of doctors, I was going through the other day on the annual report of the Australian Medical Council, and they had said that from Sri Lanka, one of the largest groups that are migrating to Australia are graduates of the Vajira medical faculty. You have to convert that into an opportunity where they can come back and contribute to your faculty, to the health system in this region. They are waiting for that opportunity to be created by you. They know that they are in an alien place and probably not receiving the level of recognition and attention that they were used to in this country. And they want to come back and contribute. And it is for us to create that inclusive environment for them to want to come and contribute. We cannot change people's circumstances. We can't say, if I were you, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have left the country and go on because I was not that person. But everybody wants to contribute. So let's create that inclusive environment for them to come and contribute. And that way, you would be in even a better place here. And that is what we have to strive to do. And that is what in the past few years that I have done in my faculty in Colombo, created an opportunity for everyone to come and contribute. And that has helped us immensely. And I'm sure you can do that with the leadership that you have in the Anuradhapura medical faculty here, Rajarata medical faculty. I'm sure you can create that environment, and that would hold you and take you to a greater place in the years to come. So don't lament, or let's not, even I have been lamenting about, migration, but let's not lament about that anymore. Let's make it an opportunity. Let's create that inclusive environment where wherever people are, they can contribute. So with those words, let me once again thank the President and the Council for having invited me to be your chief guest this evening. It's indeed, as I said, a singular honor that you have bestowed upon me, and I shall remember that for the rest of my life. Thank you very much.